There's a moment, a very subtle one, where a woman stops seeing you as just another guy and starts testing you without you even realizing it. And if you don't recognize what's happening in that moment, you don't just lose attraction, you lose her curiosity completely. Because when a woman is secretly attracted to you, she doesn't always move closer. Sometimes she pulls back. And that's where most men get it wrong. You've probably felt it before. Things are going well, the vibe is strong, the conversation flows effortlessly. And then suddenly, she changes. She becomes slightly distant, a little colder, maybe even confusing. You start questioning yourself. Did I say something wrong? Did I move too fast? But what you don't realize is, this isn't disinterest. This is a test. A psychological shift where she's trying to figure out if you're emotionally strong enough to handle her world. Women don't always express attraction directly, not because they can't, but because attraction for them is deeply tied to emotional safety and psychological dominance. And one of the most common mind games she'll play when she's into you is what feels like emotional inconsistency. One day she's warm, engaged, almost magnetic. And the next, she's distant, slow to reply or slightly detached. This isn't random. This is her watching you, measuring you. She's trying to see if your confidence depends on her attention, or if you remain grounded in yourself. Because the truth is, a woman is far more attracted to a man who doesn't panic when she pulls back, than one who chases her the moment she creates space. And here's where most men lose. The moment she becomes distant, they lean in harder. They text more. They seek reassurance. They try to fix the shift. But in doing that, they unknowingly communicate something very powerful. That their emotional state is controlled by her behavior, and once that happens, the dynamic changes. She no longer sees you as the emotional anchor. She sees you as someone seeking validation. But the man who wins this game doesn't react. He observes. He understands that attraction isn't always about moving closer. Sometimes it's about holding your ground when she steps away. He gives her space without withdrawing his presence completely. He doesn't chase, but he also doesn't disappear. He becomes steady, unshaken. And that steadiness is what pulls her back in. Because when a woman realizes that her shift didn't shake you, that you didn't become needy, insecure, or reactive, something clicks in her mind. You become different, rare, someone she can't easily control. And that's exactly what deepens her attraction. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Because emotional inconsistency is just the beginning. There's another game, one that feels almost playful on the surface, but carries a much deeper psychological meaning underneath. It's when she teases you, challenges you, even slightly disrespects you in a joking way. At first, it feels harmless. She might make fun of something small, question your decisions, or throw a sarcastic comment your way with a smile. And most men either take it personally or try too hard to prove themselves in response. But what they don't see is, this is another test, not of your logic, but of your emotional control. Because in that moment, she's not looking for a perfect answer. She's watching how you handle pressure. Do you get defensive? Do you try to impress her? Or do you stay calm, playful, and completely unfazed? The man who understands this doesn't fight back with ego, and he doesn't shrink either. He leans into the moment. He matches her energy with confidence, not insecurity. And in doing so, he shows her something most men can't, that he's emotionally untouchable. And once she feels that, her attraction doesn't just grow, it locks in. There's a shift that happens next, and it's far more subtle than anything you've seen before. It doesn't come with obvious signals or dramatic behavior. In fact, if you're not paying attention, you'll miss it completely, because this time, she doesn't pull away. She leans in, but not in the way you expect. She starts opening up, just a little. sharing small details about her life, her past, her thoughts, but never fully. It feels intimate, but incomplete. And that's exactly the point. This is one of the most powerful mind games a woman plays when she's secretly attracted to you. It's controlled vulnerability. She gives you just enough emotional access to pull you in, but not enough to feel fully secure. And without realizing it, you start leaning forward. You become more invested, more curious, more emotionally engaged. You start thinking about her more, wondering what she's really feeling, trying to decode her behavior, and in that process, she slowly becomes the center of your attention. But here's what she's actually doing. She's testing your emotional pace. She wants to see if you can match her depth without losing yourself in it. Because when a man gets too emotionally invested too quickly, it signals something she instinctively pulls away from. Not because she doesn't like him, but because it feels unstable, unpredictable, too easy. So she creates this balance, a push and pull of emotional access, and most men fall right into the trap. They start oversharing, over-explaining, trying to earn deeper connection by revealing more of themselves. But in doing that, they unknowingly break the tension, and tension is what keeps attraction alive. The man who wins here understands timing. He doesn't rush to match her vulnerability. He mirrors it, calmly, naturally. If she opens up a little, he opens up just enough. Not more, not less. He keeps a part of himself grounded, slightly out of reach. And that creates a quiet intrigue she can't ignore. Because attraction isn't built on full access. It's built on emotional curiosity. On the feeling that there's always something more to discover. And when you give everything too quickly, you remove the mystery that makes her want to stay. But then, she takes it even further. There will come a moment where she brings up other men. Casually, indirectly. Maybe she mentions someone who's interested in her, or talks about a guy from her past. She might even describe attention she's getting, right in front of you. And this is where the game becomes dangerous. Because in that moment, she's not just talking, she's observing, watching your reaction with precision. Most men instantly feel it. That slight tension in their chest, jealousy, competition, the urge to prove themselves. And that's exactly what she's testing. She wants to know, do you see yourself as an option in her world, or as the prize she should be earning? If you react with insecurity, questioning her, getting jealous, trying to compete, you automatically lower your position. You place yourself in the same category as every other man she's dealing with. But if you stay composed, unfazed, almost indifferent to the mention of other men, something powerful happens. You separate yourself. You become the one man who isn't trying to win her approval, and that alone makes her question her own position with you, because now, instead of you chasing her, she starts wondering if she's enough for you. And that shift is everything. But just when you think you understand the pattern, she introduces another layer, one that doesn't involve distance, or vulnerability, or even other men. This one plays with your time, your attention, and your patience. There's one final shift, and it's the one that quietly decides everything. It doesn't feel dramatic. There's no obvious tension, no clear test, no emotional push or pull that you can easily point to. In fact, on the surface, it feels almost normal. But underneath, it's the most revealing moment of all. Because this is where she starts playing with your time. She delays her replies. Not always, just enough. She cancels or reschedules plans occasionally, always with a reasonable excuse. She becomes slightly unpredictable with her availability. And if you're not aware of what's happening, it starts to get to you. You begin checking your phone more often. You notice the gaps. You feel the shift in consistency. And your mind starts filling in the blanks. This is the moment where many men lose control without even realizing it. Because time is emotional currency, and the second you start giving more of it than you're receiving, the balance changes. You start waiting, hoping, anticipating her next move. And slowly, without noticing, she becomes the center of your attention again. But this isn't about her being disinterested. This is about her observing how you value yourself when she's not fully available. She's watching to see if your life pauses, or if you continue moving forward without hesitation. And this is where the difference between average and unforgettable becomes clear. The average man reacts. He double texts. He asks where she's been. He tries to lock things in by pushing for more certainty. But all of these actions send one message: that her time is more valuable than his. And the moment she feels that, the dynamic tilts in her favor. But the man who wins this game doesn't chase time. He protects it. When she delays, he doesn't rush to fill the silence. When she cancels, he doesn't rearrange his entire world to accommodate her. He stays consistent in his own life, focused, grounded, unavailable in a way that feels natural, not forced. And this is what creates something powerful, because when a woman realizes that you're not waiting, not chasing, not adjusting your life around her unpredictability, she feels a subtle loss of control. And with that loss comes curiosity, respect, and a deeper level of attraction that isn't based on games anymore, but on something much stronger. Now she starts investing. She reaches out more. She becomes more consistent. Not because you demanded it, but because your behavior made her want to earn your time. And that's the shift most men never experience, because they give away their value too early. But here's the truth that ties all of this together. None of these mind games are about manipulation in the way most people think. They're not conscious strategies designed to trick you. They're instinctive, emotional. A woman's way of exploring whether you're stable enough, confident enough, and self-aware enough to handle her without losing yourself. And the men who fail aren't failing because they're not good enough. They're failing because they react instead of understand. They chase instead of observe. They try to control the outcome instead of controlling themselves. But the man who sees through all of this, who recognizes the patterns without becoming emotional, who stays calm when tested, grounded when challenged, and steady when things feel uncertain, he doesn't just pass the tests, he changes the entire dynamic. Because when a woman realizes she can't shake your confidence, can't pull you into insecurity, can't make you lose your center, she stops playing games and starts playing for keeps. And now the real question isn't whether she's attracted to you. It's whether you're the kind of man who knows how to handle it when she is.